Hi, I'm Mark Mazzaferro, and it's time for another episode of On the Beat with Vacaville Police Chief John Carli. John, thanks for taking some time out of your day.
Well, thanks again. It's always good to be with you.
Yes, and as we were discussing a little earlier, the holiday season is here. Thanksgiving and then Christmas, and along with the time of the year where we get together with our families and do shopping and eat lots of really good food, our not so friendly folks are out there causing problems for you guys. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to keep yourself safe during the holidays.
It's always a good reminder this time of year. We think it's just about the fall season and time for family. Shopping season is around us because, we can never start early enough, it seems like these days. And Black Friday seems to be when everyone wants to kick it off. And Vacaville is a place where people love to come and hang out and shop and go to the premium outlets. And it does bring a lot of other people as well, and not just the ones who want to shop.
Well, and as much of a problem as it can be during the rest of the year, it's exacerbated during the holidays for obvious reasons, right?
Yes.
People know that people are shopping and that they're putting all their purchases in their car and probably going back to shop some more, which we're going to talk about in a second. So we have this TLC program, we have this, we have that. So why don't you just, to start, why don't you give us some just general tips for folks who are going to, jump into this holiday season with both feet and start buying gifts?
Well, it's always an interesting thing because you show up, usually people drive their own car. They don't really think about what they're presenting because they may go from one shopping center to another. And what do? They fill up the car with all the items that they purchased. And maybe they'll go off to go eat lunch or dinner and leave everything in plain view. And that's oftentimes what people prey on when they're looking to steal from you. And so the basic tips are: find a way to not leave any of your valuables where it can be seen through the glass. Mm-hmm. To break into a car takes seconds, and the opportunity is usually just looking through the parking lot, looking for cars that might have items stacked up. And when a car is selected, it could be a simple glass break, grab a few items and go. 5 to 10 seconds and it's over. You didn't even see it. And the fallout is it ruins everyone's day.
Yeah. First of all, you lose your gifts that you bought. Secondly, now you have a huge car repair bill because your window is smashed out. Not a good thing. And it's funny because this happens. This kind of thing has happened in front of people's homes, right?
Yes.
They park their cars. They go in for the night. Maybe they leave their phone or a laptop or a bag or a briefcase, and maybe they just left something that looks like it's valuable, and somebody will come by and see it, and either they try and open the door or they just smash the window and grab it. So it gets even worse during the holiday season. So what kind of things can people do to kind of avoid becoming a victim?
It's just a few simple tips.
Mm-hmm.
To start with, if you're getting in and out of your car, don't make it obvious that you're trying to hide something. Some people, you think of going into the club, or going into the gym, or just going for a jog. I'm just going to shove my wallet and my phone underneath the seat. Well, that kind of motion for someone who's watching is a red flag that maybe you're stuffing a valuable. So first and foremost, don't make the motion of hiding things at the time of your final stop. Mm-hmm. It may take a little bit more time, but a simple tip to that is if you're going to have to rearrange your car so that nothing is showing, do so maybe a minute or two prior in a different parking lot or a different part of a parking lot. Get out and do what you have to do, and then reposition your car. Most people don't realize that, but if you're leaving the car is usually when you're being noticed the most.
Mm-hmm. And that's something else, you talk about, okay, I'm going to go make my purchases. I'm going to put them in the trunk, close the trunk, and then, or put them in the back seat, close the door, and then go back and shop some more. Bad idea.
Especially since most cars actually have access to the trunk through the rear seat. It's not only a safety issue, but it's an expansion of the trunk. And so our cars today allow you to do that, but it also makes for easy access.
And it does kind of sound like a hassle, but it kind of, you have a choice. Either protect your belongings and not have to pay to have a window repaired, or don't worry about it and roll the dice basically.
Yeah, we often think that it's only when you're there shopping, but sometimes the smallest things, it could be money that's left in the dash, or just small items that might be of value that people will look for. And you think it's only when you're going Christmas shopping, but some of the times that we struggle the most is people thinking, I'm just going to run in to get a cup of coffee. Along the I-80 corridor, people are often stopping and just passing through. And those types of parking lots are easy targets because, like I said, 10 to 15 seconds, people think, I'm only going in to get coffee, my car's right outside, who would do that? And I don't want to leave the impression that Vacaville is dangerous, but the reality is any time when you have businesses along a freeway corridor, it's a prime opportunity for theft.
Right. And you're absolutely right. We've said it 100 times that Vacaville's, generally speaking, a very safe community. You're not going to have a whole lot of problems here, but these are crimes of opportunity. So don't give them the opportunity to commit the crime.
For example, last month alone, it is starting to get to that season. The actual amount of dollar loss of property stolen from inside a car was about $80,000. So for every $20 to $200 item, maybe up to a few $1,000s, that adds up. Not only is it an inconvenience for them, it's a lot of work in the end when so much could be prevented.
Something else that's good about our community too is the level of community participation, and we've said this over and over and over again, both with your predecessors and with you, that our community is great at helping the police department do its job in terms of being the eyes and the ears in some cases of our city. And that kind of goes to what I want to talk about next, which is the online camera registration. Why don't you talk a little bit about surveillance cameras in general, and then this program we're going to start soon.
Well, you look around town, Vacaville is no different than anywhere else. You see cameras popping up. From a safety standpoint, law enforcement has been doing this for several years. But individuals today have affordable options to protect their own home and their own property and their businesses with low-cost, very affordable, high-tech camera systems. Gone are the days of the VHS cassette tape that you would push into your VCR and it would last 2 hours. Today, you can have instant information text to you when there's motion sensed. So we've come a long way. And what we've recognized in law enforcement is the better solution is not to put cameras up everywhere, but to partner with people who do.
Right.
And so that really steps into a project that we're working on right now that we're asking for the community to participate so that we can be in partnership. And that is a registration of cameras.
And it's on our website. If you want to go look, it's cityofvacaville.com/cameras. And that'll take you right to the site that has all the information about how you can participate in this program. And it's pretty simple. Basically, you sign up to let the police know that you have some cameras. And if there's a crime in your area, they'll contact you and ask to look at what you might have captured. That's all they want. They don't want to connect to your system. They don't want to run your system. They're looking for help. We're looking for help any place we can get it to keep everybody safe.
Yes, imagine that you, as a community citizen within the community, whether it's a business or just a residence, to be able to partner. Everyone loves to be able to partner with some law enforcement investigation. So the thought is why not partner with you? So if it's at a business or a home, one of the thoughts is all too often you've got a camera system at home, and there's usually that camera that's pointed out in the driveway. I can't tell you how many times we've solved a case that may be a block or two away because of a person who walked up to this address or drove by a particular house, and it was enough information, and when you put it with everything else, we're able to solve the cases. In some cases, it isn't just crimes of theft, it's been some crimes of violence. So this really allows us to at least have a place to start with when we look. Look, years ago I used to investigate crimes, and the first thing that would happen is we would think, which direction would somebody go? And there's the 7-Eleven and the AM PM. And now it's any business that's out there. And so why not know that in advance? And so that's what we're asking.
Well, and the idea that, it's a whole Big Brother thing, maybe, maybe not, but cameras are here to stay. You know, from going to use the ATM to shopping, going to your favorite store. You know, just because you don't see them doesn't mean that there isn't somebody keeping an eye on you, and it's you know, for your safety and for their safety too. So no need to reinvent the wheel here. As you said, let's just partner and try to, you know, keep our community as safe as it can be, if not safer, right?
That's right. There's really, it's simple in the sense that we don't own the camera footage. The business or the citizen does.
Right.
And therefore the protections are really with them, and we don't have to maintain them in a way that for some reason is that big brother issue. And so it simplifies the fact that all we really want to do is partner.
Right.
We don't want to be seen as big brother, but if it can save, you know, somebody from the loss of, you know, a large amount of property or injury, what a better way to partner.
Yeah, why not? Absolutely. And like you say, people inherently want to help. You know, let's face it. You want to do what you can to either keep your neighborhood safe or your home safe or your city safe. This is an easy, great way to do so. So anything else going on in the department that we need to know about or hear about? I know we've got some new hires and some promotions coming up. You want to talk about that at all? Or?
Yeah, you know, as we're beginning to go in this new direction of recovery, all of us are, and sometimes you think, well, what's harder during the economic downturns, which affects everyone? But the recovery mode really is an opportunity to look at what the future is for the city and for the department. And some things coming to the department, to the city in the near future that will be exciting that we're planning right now is a future kickoff of a community response unit. And so when we get to the details, probably in the spring, I'll be able to share all of what's going on. But effectively, we recognize that quality of life issues are a big deal. And we were fortunate enough recently to receive a grant. The City Council approved it here recently. And so we will begin hiring at least 2 officers that by next year will be able to deploy in a way that will deal with some of our quality of life issues. We deal with graffiti, we deal with some of the mental health issues, with homelessness. And our goal in partnership with the community is to find real solutions, but we can't ignore that it's impacting us. And so by creating this unit that's specific to the issues of Vacaville quality of life, we as a police department, as a city, are being able to focus on that which affects people every day. So this just got approved. It was a real positive thing to be awarded this through the COPS hiring grant. It's a federal grant for 2 officers. It certainly came at a commitment with the council and their support and their blessing. And so this is exciting times for us. So coming soon, I'll have more details, but we will be calling it our community response unit for that reason.
And it's important, you know, when you talk about, you know, you talk about the safety of your residents, you know, this kind of operation is key. But bigger picture, you know, when you talk about economic development as well, and you know, having someone there to kind of address these quality of life issues makes your city that much more attractive to potential companies that are going to come here. You know,
That's
I mean,
correct.
yeah, we're going to get a certain amount of businesses because of the volume, the sheer numbers of residents. But the bigger companies like Icon and like that, they're digging a little deeper. You know,
That's right.
because they're talking about moving their operations here and moving their employees here, and they want to know that they're coming to a safe community. And that's, you know, honestly, that's one of the reasons Icon came here, was because they knew their employees would be safe, and they knew they were coming to a great organization. So not only does public safety impact our quality of life, but they also impact the economic vitality of our community too.
It's an interesting point you make, and it's absolutely true, because when you think of every department, what does it take to operate a city? At least in my department, everyone thinks of how to be safe and how to eliminate crime or the fear of it, because ultimately, what's the so that equation? It's so that there's economic vitality, so that it's a place that people want to live and where they want to raise a family. So that there's a greater picture than other than just the notion of public safety. It serves the greater good of the future of Vacaville.
So, not to change the subject, John, but we had a pretty quiet Halloween a couple of weeks ago. No problem?
Seems to be a nice, smooth evening. It was a nice, beautiful, warm evening, that's for sure.
Yeah. Do you think this is just me anecdotally, I didn't see that many trick-or-treaters. I think parents take their kids to the bigger, like the Halloween stroll and the shopping center trick-or-treating as opposed to going into their neighborhoods. They just don't do that anymore. I mean, when I was a kid, we would be out all night trick-or-treating, come back with a sack of candy. Maybe it's obvious, but not so much anymore,
There are some shifting in, I think, what you're pointing to. Maybe even more so this year. It was on a weekend, and so the businesses, such as our downtown business district, put on the Halloween stroll for the candy and the kids that's downtown, and so everyone came out on a Friday night, and so maybe it split it up a little bit as well. Right. Saturday night, as adults, people go to friends and family parties. So they may have scheduled things differently, even more so. And we actually had extra patrols out during our Saturday night event just for that reason, in addition to what we did on Friday. So maybe it's because it was split over 2 days, but overall it was a huge success.
Great, good deal. Anything else you want to add, John, before we say goodbye?
Just, again, a reminder, just be safe during this holiday season. Watch your valuables, keep your belongings close. Don't leave belongings exposed. If you carry a purse or a satchel, don't leave them unattended because you'll be sorry, and we just rather avoid the heartache of lost or stolen property.
Good tips, good advice, John. Thank you again for taking a little time out of your day, and thank you for watching this episode of On the Beat.